Welcome to the milk bar. 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 Welcome to the milk bar.
Welcome along to episode 561 of the Milk Bar. A little bit later than planned, as it's been a bit of a busy week. We'll be finding out what happened when I had a chat with Kelly Jeffs about the situation at the Lighthouse. They are looking for your support, if possible, with virtual attendance. You can hear that a bit later on. Also, we'll be having a chat with Robert Bowers about what he's doing in the fine artwork and coming up with some ideas of things that you can do with the kids around the house. And as well as all that, Ryan Davies will be joining us for a bit of a chat about his website Wartime Reflections, which are making available some of their archive material to help teach your kids about the Second World War whilst they're away from their standard education. But first of all, over the weekend, I caught up with an absolutely fantastic musician on the other side of the world. I first had a chat with David Lazarus probably back in 2013. I discovered his music in a small independent record store in Fremantle in Australia. He came in, did a live session for me for the podcast whilst we were out there, and we've sort of kept in touch since. He joins me now, direct from Perth, for a bit of a chat. Hello.
Hey mate, how you doing?
I'm good to catch up with you. And what's going on in your world musically?
I tell you what, musically, I've actually been doing a lot of writing recently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be releasing some new stuff online pretty soon. Given world events, my my whole world has kind of gone upside down recently.
Mm-hmm. Because you've been living in Thailand because of the South Africa connection as well, and now you're back with your family in Perth.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've been based in Thailand for the last couple of years, and basically, because of what's happened in the world, I thought it was the best thing to do was to come back to Australia, be with my family. And I was actually very lucky to make it back. When I went to the airport, pretty much, I would say 75 to 80% of the flights were being cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
My initial leg coming back here was via Singapore, and that leg got cancelled. So I actually had to book a whole new flight, which I was lucky to get on. So I'm feeling very grateful to be back in Perth and with my family and just sort of seeing through the next, who knows how long, really. But it's a very interesting time to be alive, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's not something any of us had anticipated during our lifetimes, but certainly during this time, with a lot of freelance musicians not being able to work, it's important to highlight the music that is out there and allow people to buy and stream online some fantastic stuff done by artists from across the world. And I know with the work that you do, some fantastic songs, and so good to hear them. And hopefully we're going to get to hear something from you in a short while's time. What have you been doing of late?
I actually haven't released anything online for a little while, but this year is good. That's going to change. I'm hoping to release a new single probably within the next month or two. Stuff I've been working on for a while, and hopefully going to be releasing a few more things throughout the year. But yeah, I mean, the sort of the platform and the whole way music works these days is quite different to when we met in 2013.
Yeah.
It was back then you were buying a CD in a record store, and now that's sort of almost doesn't exist anymore, So now it's sort of everything's about streaming and the online presence, and so I'll be releasing a new song and probably a few singles throughout the year this year. So I'm quite excited to release some really material I've actually been working on for quite a while. Sort of getting it out to the world.
So, I mean, what are your inspirations at the moment? Because I'm sure the travelling and working with so many different people across the globe has helped. You spent some time in the US, probably, about 5 years ago now. So you've been doing plenty and working with some great people in the music industry.
Yeah, I mean, I guess your songwriting develops as you grow up, and you sort of, it's all related to what you're experiencing in your life. And the most recent song I'm going to put up is a bit of more of a breakup song, which is a lot of my music earlier on was I've always had very positive, happy vibes in my music, and this one is kind of taken a different direction. And as you go through different experiences in life, I think that your inspiration changes, and you take inspiration from different areas. And the song I'm going to put out quite in the next hopefully couple of months is very much more on the serious heartbreak side, which I know a lot of songs are about. Yeah, so I guess it's for me. I've also been writing a lot of songs about my family, and just the general. I come across a lot of different people where I'm based and where I live, and I sort of like to write stories about people that I meet, that sort of inspire, that that little spark of inspiration. And sometimes the stories aren't necessarily about myself. Sometimes they're about other people. But yeah, as you grow up and as you develop as a musician, your songwriting changes along the way as well.
When you are settling down and performing as well, I mean, you have performed in some phenomenal spots. I mean, we're talking, I've seen you, at the side of an ocean performing away in front of quite a large audience out there. Have your audiences around the world reacted differently to you, or is it purely just an appreciation of what has always been, as you say, mostly upbeat music, and but also thought-provoking along the way?
Yeah, I mean, I think music is that universal language, and the beauty about it is that where I'm based, there's actually a lot of people that are coming through. So I get people from all over the world, all over Europe, all over, from United States, from just basically all over the world. They're coming through. It's a place called Koh Tao. That's where I'm actually mainly based, and I play music basically full time over there, as well as other things that I do. But my audiences are always, as opposed to necessarily going on tour to different countries, it's almost like they're coming to where I stay. So it's almost like I'm on tour, but I'm staying in one spot. And what I'm loving, I guess, for me is the fact that I can play my music, and the appreciation is coming from all people from all sides, all different parts of the world. And I guess the music is that universal language they can all relate to, and I think that's almost like the test. If you can play a song, you can play music that an entire audience, which is not necessarily from the same place or from the same country or speak the same languages, they can still relate to it and enjoy it. So that for me is really it's a wonderful opportunity to do that. It's it's nice to kind of get the whole world in one.
Yeah, it's a nice way of doing it and sharing that music. Well, so I'm the lucky one. I've got a signed CD. I mean, there's been EPs over the years. But what are you going to play for us now? What track are we going to hear?
I'm going to sing a song called Emily. Wouldn't it be nice if we could find a way, make it all right? If we had just one more day, I'd wrap you in my life, and you'd feel warm every day, Emily. And I don't wanna feel the lights, just wanna hide you away, hold you right, your lips pressed close to me. So what I'm trying to say is just trying to say, oh Emily, I want you every day, oh Emily, and I want you in your beautiful way. Don't let you go, oh night and day, oh Emily. This girl uptown tonight, there's a world we can stay. It's feeling so right, wish you here every day. So what I'm trying to say is just trying to say, oh Emily, and I want you every day, oh Emily, and I want you in your beautiful ways. Don't let you go, oh night and day, oh Emily, Emily, 'cause you're my moonlit love in the heart of the sea, and you're taking me far, far away from me, and I can feel love next to me. still be mine when we part our ways. It's only time that can keep us away. So what I'm trying to say is just dying to say, oh Emily, Emily, I wanna love you every day, my Emily, and I want you in your beautiful way. Don't wanna let you go, oh not today, Emily, Emily. Wouldn't that be nice?
Fantastic stuff. David, thank you for joining us. Where do we go online to find out all about you and your music?
You can find me David Lazarus, Instagram, Facebook, davidlazarus.com.au, Spotify. You can anywhere on the social media.
And to keep you going during these times when you can't perform live, out and about, make sure we're buying plenty of the back catalogue. And there's a lot of it out there, isn't there?
That'll be fantastic. Yeah, and just I'm going to be doing some stuff on my socials during this time, a lot of Instagram Live, Facebook Live. So anybody who wants a bit of music, bit of entertainment while they're stuck at home, they can tune in, and I'll be playing some shows virtually.
Certainly well worth a listen. We know that from what we've heard so far, and of course what we'll continue to hear, and we look forward to the new stuff as we head through 2020. But for now, David Lazarus, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much, Jason. Take care, mate.
As a way of making sure you keep the kids educated whilst they're off school, Wartime Reflections have made their back catalogue of work available for you to see for free online. To tell us more, I'm joined now by the founder, Ryan Davies. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm very well. I trust we find you well.
Yes, absolutely. Just doing our best as everyone else is.
Absolutely. Now, you are a local lad. Wheaton Aston is your parental home, and you may have moved out the area when you went off to uni, but it doesn't mean that you don't keep close cut ties with the area.
Yeah, absolutely. I've still got family back in the Midlands, Wolverhampton, Wheaton Aston, and those areas. So yeah, and keep close ties definitely, and keep in touch with everybody back there.
So I mean, what is this website? Tell us a bit about what you do, because you've always had an interest in things military and the wars, both the Great War and the Second World War, and I know you spent a lot of time looking at things like the liberation of the Channel Islands.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, from sort of a young age with my gran in Wentzfield. The first movie I saw on television was The Longest Day, so she got me into all of the war stuff, and I've grown up with an interest since. And then started up my own business delivering workshops for primary schools, various different things such as home guard training, rationing workshops, a blitz workshop where they have to go out after an air raid and take part as a medic, or bomb disposal or air raid wardens, those kind of things. And then started moving on to producing some home learning activities for primary school children. So that's what I'm working on at the moment.
And with that, they making this available, it does mean there is this resource that looks back to a time when the nation was in its own kind of lockdown then, and with the food shortages they had back then, it makes now seem like nothing, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're looking at not being able to get toilet rolls and things like that at the moment, and the odd bit of food that, well, I think you're probably worse off in the Midlands at the moment than we are, but the food shortages that we have now is nothing compared to then, as you've said, and you know, there were people on the radio broadcasting about what you can use as fake bits and pieces and making mock dishes and things like that. So we can sort of appreciate now just what hardships they really went through. I mean, we're being asked to sit in our homes for a period of time, but they were asked to go and fight and look after children while men went and gave their lives. So yeah, we can appreciate now a little bit of kind of what they were going through.
And obviously, it's shaped the Europe we have today. And I mean, with the Allied victory at the Second World War, obviously that is something to look back on with pride. And going in the face of the awful fascism that came through from the Nazi state, and it's getting an understanding of really just how bad that actually was for those people who were there, and that we feared the other side of the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you go back to the idea of the Channel Islands. I mean, they were occupied from 1940 to 1945, and it was supposed to be the model occupation. Hitler wanted his troops to come in and show the rest of the world what an occupation of Britain was going to be. It was a really frightening time because we actually thought it was going to happen here. There were fear of invasion alarms that actually happened where we believed the Germans had arrived, and it was just the fear of the unknown as to what was going to happen when the Germans came. Was it going to be this dreadful, awful evilness that was going to overtake the whole place? But it must have been incredibly frightening.
And on an interesting side of things, I mean, there's documents up there in Bridgnorth Town Hall that show that he was actually looking at using the small Shropshire village as maybe a base of command in the UK.
Yeah, I've seen documents about Telford and the Shropshire area being the central focus, so it puts the Midlands right in the forefront of Hitler's plans to sort of spread his forces throughout the country, and his whole operations be planned, and the occupation sort of started from there. So I believe there was also on the around about the 7th of September, we certainly had an invasion alarm down here, which rippled throughout the whole country, where obviously the Blitz began. It was Black Saturday, and that evening the Cromwell alert went out, and down here it was thought that the Germans had actually arrived by boat and they were spreading poison gas on the beaches. Nobody actually knew where it was coming from, but villagers ran out into the streets. The church bells were ringing. Home Guard were brought out at 2 o'clock in the morning. In Plymouth, a car went round with a loudspeaker on, getting the Home Guard out. And up in Lincolnshire and places like that, there was an incident there where bridges had been mined, and officers and people that were reporting for duty, actually there were some fatalities because the bridges had been mined waiting for the Germans, and they weren't aware that had happened. So I believe something happened in Bridgnorth on a bridge somewhere there, with an invasion fear there too.
So, obviously, there's a lot of history to look at here, and this is something that you've done and explored it in such a way as it makes it accessible to kids, and the home workshops that you've produced give them a better understanding of the time. And it is history. I mean, it's history that I covered at school, and it's certainly history which is still very prevalent today. Fortunately, we haven't seen as many incidents of the scale that we've seen now. We've also had terrible times in the Gulf and many other conflicts in Europe since, but nothing of the size that was caused by the Third Reich. So, it is something that is still very important for kids to learn about. So you've made this resource available. Where do people go to find it?
So you can go to wartimereflections.co.uk, and there's a drop-down menu that says, I think it's what we do. And if you click on products, it will take you to that page. There's 2 on there at the moment, an activity pack and a spellings challenge book for year 6 sort of age group. But there are more resources going to be going on in the next few days and the next few weeks as well.
So something to start with, and look at it as it starts to make a bigger library online for kids to use. Ryan Davies of Wartime Reflections, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Take these hands to comfort your body. Lay your head now. I'll keep you from falling down. All of these nights, only you by my side. You beautify my life without even knowing how. I just wanna sail away, you and I through the night. And through these crashing waves, I'll keep you safe all through this life. You and I through the night. Rest your head on my heart. We can dream through the night. You're safe in these arms. No, these little lights. I just wanna sail away, you and I through the night. And through these crashing waves, I'll keep you safe. It's all through this life. Not being here, this tears me in two. So I write this little love song, so I'll never miss you. Sail away, you and I through the night. And through these crashing waves, I'll keep you safe. And all through this life, you and I through the night. So I'll keep you safe.
With everything we have going on with the coronavirus around us, it's nice to think of some art, look at some pretty things. And this can be done online as well as in person. Robert Bowers, fine artist, and so much more, joins me on the line now for a chat. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is. Yeah. Welcome.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. Now, I mean, we should at this point have been talking about your exhibition in Ironbridge, but that, unfortunately, isn't happening at the moment, is it?
No, not with the current climate. First of all, we had the floods, and then we've got this lockdown. So it's like an exhibition that was planned for 2 years and never was.
Well, it's in itself. Let's look at it as an exhibition, which is a special arts installation that's so special it's not allowed to be viewed by the public. I think Banksy, it's kind of reverse Banksy, isn't it? No one knows who the artist is there. In this case, we know who the artist is, we know the work is, but we just can't go and see it at the moment.
But you can't see the work, no. I'll be honest with you, Jason, it's a bit of an upset.
I can imagine.
You know, I mean, I'm more upset for Hannah. Mm-hmm. I mean, she spent two years getting this collection together, and it's just sad, really, isn't it? But I suppose
we will get to see it at some point, though. That's the important thing, isn't it?
Well, I hope so. I hope the gallery decides to push it on or something. Mm-hmm. But I know you can see the work online.
Yeah. So we can take a look at that. Where do we go for that at the moment then?
Ironbridge Fine Art.
and they can take a virtual tour of what's happening with the website. And it is a difficult time for everybody, and we often watch your Facebook Live videos of you doing your work. And for anybody who hasn't done this yet, it's well worth seeing an artist at work, isn't it?
It is. Actually, it's fun to show people.
Mm-hmm.
And if it inspires somebody to have a go, well, then it's... I like showing off, really, basically.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I know you've done classes for kids. When we were out and about back in the day, we had things like the Brood Pandas, and this is all about getting kids interested in art. And now is the time where parents can do that. So maybe watching some of your videos online, just searching for Robert Bowers on Facebook, would be a great way of seeing a bit more about what to do and get some ideas with materials around the house they've got they can probably work with.
Oh, I mean, that's just like... That's like a birthday present, that isn't it? If you ever look around the house, see what you can do with stuff that you have got. It's endless.
Yeah, and you could create all sorts of things. I mean, we have in the past seen some interesting creations that you've made out of parts of toys, and I'm not suggesting they take Barbie apart and stick it back together in a different order, but there are all sorts of things that they could create, like mini sculptures and things, aren't there?
Oh, of course it is. I mean, they could even repaint their cars, toys, dolls, make something for the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be material. They could make them out of paper and just use glue.
But work with mom, dad, parent, guardian, who's ever around at the moment. Only play with the stuff you're allowed to play with. But as a family group, it could be a great fun thing to do, and a brilliant way of expressing something artistically whilst we're on lockdown.
Completely. It's like the if you've got any empty plastic bottles lying around, you can make your own 10-pin bowling set.
Yeah, and fun things to do. It sounds like good fun, and it might be a scrunched up bit of aluminium you're going to recycle at some point. You use the ball, so there's always ways of doing these things.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect, Jason.
So, I mean, aside of all this, you are also still taking commissions because you've got a fair stockpile of raw materials around you. I've seen the workshop, so you're actually still building things for people as we go along, aren't you?
Well, I'm mainly carving people now, so people will send me a photograph of a relative and tell me what they do. So I'll then make a Whittlington, because they're called Whittlingtons.
They are.
Out of that person from the photograph.
Now, it's about, 12, 18 months ago when you popped in for the 500th episode of my podcast. And we had some live Whittlingtons produced then. And but say this is something which people can get hold of. And where do people find you? Is it through the website the easiest way of doing it?
Just on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, 100% Facebook.
Right, Robert Bowers, you're looking for on there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in control of that, whereas like gallery websites, I have no control over what they say. So,
so you said look out for Rob on Facebook, but
yeah, that's it.
So plenty to do. You are keeping yourself busy, which is good to hear. And I mean, I'm always intrigued as to what you're going to come up with next. I know the Whittlingtons are doing fantastic things, but there's always so many side projects you work on at the same time, isn't there?
Yes, we've got a few things that I can't say just yet, but you will. I mean, we're coming out with mugged off. You tell us how you like your tea. Say you work in an office,
right?
If there's a group of people, somebody's always stealing somebody's mug. So you'd say Jason's coffee. How do you like your coffee?
Well, I don't like coffee. I drink tea, quite milky, but quite strong.
Well, there you go. You go quite milky, quite strong. Jason's mug, and that's something that we're just about to start to do.
So that'll be launching soon. So the best place to find out more is, of course, to check out that Facebook page with Robert Bowers at the top of it, isn't it?
Yep, Robert, and then there's links from my page to Mugged Off and various other sites.
So keep checking it all out. Well, Rob, keep up the good work. Have a great time working on your current projects. I know you're putting smiles on people's faces with everything that you're doing. And, once the gallery is sorted, we will be down there. And once we're allowed out again, be doing an interview in front of the artwork, if that's okay with you and Hannah.
Fabulous, mate.
Right, love to you both and see you soon.
All right. Cheers, Jason.
Good morning, Georgia. It's nice to see that smile you bring. See, I've been walking these village streets just to see you again. Before I go my way, I wanna say good morning, Georgia. It's good to see you again. Good morning, Georgia. You're just so lovely in so many ways. You know, you make people happy every time they walk your way. Now I hope this comes across in only the right way. Every morning, Georgia, you make my day. Now I must confess, I don't even know the name of the place where you make the best Greek island crepe. I just call it Georgia. Here I am here anyway. Georgia, why you look so down today? Can you tell me why you're not smiling your usual way? 'Cause I don't like to see you looking this out way. On this morning, Georgia, everything okay? Good morning, David. You haven't heard the news today. See, I've been told I only have a few more days, and after not too long I'm going far away. Few more mornings you won't see me again. Good morning, Georgia. I miss you today. See, I've been walking village streets round and round again, but I hope you're safe and happy way up there far away. One morning, Georgia, we'll see you again.
With the concerning situation around the coronavirus and, of course, the closing of theatres and cinemas across the UK, the Lighthouse, a registered charity in the city, is going to suffer more than most, relying on the income from film goers to help with all the projects that they work down there. They're going to be under pressure, especially if this runs for as many as 12 weeks, which we believe it could do. Kelly Jeffs is the CEO and joins me on the line now to tell me more about an initiative to try and ease the burden.
Hi, Jason.
So
good to talk to you.
Well, good to talk to you, and we do keep in touch regularly, but we're normally talking about the great events you're able to host, and at the moment you can't, unfortunately.
No, it's all halted. Everything's come to a standstill, like many other businesses, many other sectors, and freelancers, everything across the creative industries, and obviously other industries as well. It's just an unprecedented situation, and we just have to take each day as it comes.
Obviously, you've closed the doors. That happened within the last week. You are now in a position whereby the donations that the public make are more important than ever. Rent doesn't stop. You've got staff who are unfortunately now not in a position to work, so won't be able to be paid. And I know that's the case for a lot of people across the UK. But there's a chance to be a Lighthouse attendee without being able to be there.
Yeah, it's technically virtual attendance, so they're not going to be virtually viewing anything. I mean, obviously people can view stuff from home. It's part of to build on our campaign for continuous sort of support to the charitable trust. And so we're calling it a virtual attendance. We have hundreds and hundreds of people that regularly attend every week, who obviously have nothing to come to now. They may, with the goodness of their hearts, still donate to us in kind of a, in replacement of a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of arts organisations across the country offering requesting a similar ask to help prop up, income streams so there's a chance of survival through the other side of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the arts sector is going to be particularly badly hit because we can't get together in the large groups we would normally do to make an event profitable. And there's a percentage of every cinema ticket you normally sell goes to the artists on the other side of things. However, that percentage also goes for paying for the building, paying for the staff and everything you normally do there. And that even then doesn't touch food and drink sales, which are often the way most cinemas and organisations top up their income anyway.
Exactly. So basically our business model, like any service industry, any events or cultural sector industry, it's the same model. You need people to make it work. And if people are being discouraged from, which we all understand that, we all appreciate and understand that this is not the time for thinking, oh, what a shame nobody's coming to, this is serious. So we have to abide by government guidelines, advisory, the WHO advisory that mass gatherings and people being together is not the right way forward in containing this. So we will suffer financially and mentally. People have got to get used to the idea of being at home, of not being quite, having a direction with what they're going to do next, It's just a real difficult situation. This week we closed from yesterday, from last night, and we still had customers coming in last night, which was great. Not many, and we had some donations through the door yesterday as well. And hopefully that will continue while we're shut down. And the way that people can donate, they could post a check out to us to the Lighthouse postal address, Chug Buildings, Friar Street, Wolverhampton. Or they can go online through our website, www.light-house.co.uk, and click on the donate button, and it will lead you through the process. That's as much as we can do at the minute. And obviously, I'll be as the chief exec of the business, I'll be investigating grant support whenever that kind of is. Yes, it's been announced that there will be some grant support for small businesses, but until we see the guidelines and until we see the process of what we need to go through, we cannot tap into anything until that's all unlocked. As far as I understand, they're going to be announcing processes from early next week, and I will do my best for the business to try and bring in a couple of these grants.
But we know it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of people vying for money. We've got to see what comes through based on what the government is saying. And I don't think any government can understand the level of need that there's going to be around this. It is going to have to sort of come out over the next few weeks as we really start to see how this impacts. Yeah,
exactly. That's why it's best, for everyone to take it a day at a time and respond appropriately to any opportunities that come up. For me personally, this is a time where, obviously in the background, I'll be carrying on doing this kind of funding side of things. But other than that, we can't even think about future programming because all the films have been either shelved or, release dates are changing. So, even creatively, I can't think, what we can be thinking for the future. We're talking about possibly pushing an online, collective experience of watching something streamed, and then having some kind of discussion about it online afterwards. But a lot of our customers aren't digitally engaged.
Yeah.
So, again, those people, the frustrating thing for me and for our team is seeing the elder the elders, our older generation, our older demographic, that use us as a regular space to meet, to socialise, to come out of the loneliness agenda where they live on their own, perhaps. And now it's totally spun around where everyone has to be isolated, and it's going to be a tough road.
Well, we need to make sure that places like the Lighthouse are there for when we can return to something approaching normality. Give us the details again of where people can go and donate, and make sure that you're helping Lighthouse along is one of their priorities. Yeah.
So sadly, we won't have any box office cover at all. We'll be totally closed down. So if anyone wants to make a donation, they can send a cheque to Lighthouse, the Chubb Buildings, Friar Street, Wolverhampton, WV11HT, or they can donate online by going onto our website and following the link to the donate button. So that's www.light-house.co.uk.
And who do they make checks payable to?
Lighthouse Media Centre.
So do that if you can. Share some funds and keep the coffers, not so much stacked up, because I know the cover's been almost bare there anyway. But just to try and keep the lights on, literally, for when you return.
Yeah, that's all. We obviously we'll be fighting to have something to come back to at the other end, and then we can look at how we build up again. But this could take, for everyone across the country, across the globe, this could be a long stretch, a big hole to pull ourselves out of.
Well, let's keep up the focus on all of this, as well as looking after each other. If people have got time on their hands now, if they can look after your patrons too, that would be good. And then everyone can get back to having a fantastic time using the wonderful facilities at the Lighthouse in hopefully just a matter of weeks' time. But for now, Kelly Jeffs, CEO of the Lighthouse, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jason. Take care.
Your wandering little mind makes me wonder how you'll build your life. Whatever road you take, there's no one right here to guide you to the light. Remember, life has moments when it's okay to cry. On my shoulder, I'll protect you all this life. You fill my chest with inspiration when I'm near your innocent glow. So I'll pretend to know your homework answers, so you never stop questioning for more. No matter how far you go, or how big your little hands grow, in your big brother's arms, I'll protect you all this life. Cause all those beautiful times with you reminds me you treasure life, and every Sunday afternoon I'll always choose nothing else but to spend that time with you. So never change that perfect little you. No matter how far you go, how big your little hands go, your big brother's arms, you're safe now. In your big brother's arms, I'll protect you all this life.
Well, that's your lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Back with episode 562 next week. I'll speak to you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar, yeah.